Hi, and welcome to the World Beyond Belief. My name is Paul Marco, and I want to talk to you about a big shift that's taking place personally and by the control system. We need to be aware of them both. As we awaken and things shift, we really need to be on top of things. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he started bringing my attention to the fact that personally, for the people that are awakening, I don't know whether it's the onslaught of information, things that are happening at CERN, but we're a little different. Think about what's happening in the last couple of months and how you are and how you're relating to people. I think that you'll find that personally it's a very subtle shift, but we're not the same as we were in May or before. I think that's true. Check it out in your own life. But I'll tell you what's for real is the shift that the control system's undergoing right now. See, what has to happen right now is the control system, who's been masterminding us through Tavistock and all other kind of mind control devices, mainstream media and TV, have to come out from behind the veil and take total control for real. In other words, we're shifting from people that have the appearance of being free to knowing that we're slaves. And they have to come out from behind the veil to do this. And as they come out from behind the veil, before we're locked down, they're in a very vulnerable position. And if we're going to do any offense, if we're going to avoid this, we need to do it now. I think that they don't care what you think. That's the biggest shift. They're showing you that they have the force and they have the grit and they don't care what you think. I mean, if you go back to what we've been seeing, the will of the people is totally ignored. In Britain, they had a Brexit vote and they voted to get out of the Union. Well, they might not be able to. They may or may not. The PMs may vote for it. The EU may let them out. But the will of the people, which used to be paramount, I mean, it was like democracy, the will of the people is what we want to go with, is totally ignored. The rape victims all over Europe or in the UK now, totally ignored. It's not a problem. And then there's the ignorance of justice. And we see this in the United States with the Clintons being forgiven for the most heinous crime of lying to the public, lying to the FBI, and also endangering the lives of Americans by mishandling secret information. But she's walking. Loretta Lynch, who's the Attorney General, refuses to answer any questions. She sat in front of Congress, but she answered nothing. Do they care? No, they don't. Over in England, there's a Chilcot report that's a damning of Tony Blair and how he killed people. He got them involved in a war that was unnecessary, and he knew about it. Is anything going to happen? Do they care? No, they don't. So the concept of justice, you can just rip it up. Also, what's happening with the false flags. The false flags are so sloppily done now that the awake community cannot wait to get them and analyze the stuff because they're so loosely put together. But do they care? No, they don't. Now, Black Lives Matter is shooting policemen. They're backed by the mainstream media, by the government. Actually, Obama and Sharpton are in a lawsuit, former prosecutors suing them for the officer's deaths in Dallas because he's claiming that they stirred up a race war. And it's so obvious it can be taken to court. But do they care? No, they don't care. And here's what's coming up. Obviously, BLM and everybody's being set up to disrupt both of the national conventions, the Republican and the Democrat. And everybody knows that BLM is sponsored by Soros and sponsored by the government and backed by the government to cause a race war so that they can bring in martial law. And it's obvious to everybody. Can you see it? I'm sure you can. But do they care whether you see it? They don't care. That's the shift. They don't care. They're coming out. Here we are, and we don't care. Let's take a little rundown through June and the first part of July and see what's changed to cause this shift or to show us the shift is happening. Let's go back to June 1st. Here's a satanic ritual that was performed in Switzerland to celebrate the opening of the Gotthard Tunnel. I don't know what it would take to show you that this is a satanic ritual. If you're used to watching Super Bowl halftime, you know that it is. There's Baphomet himself with breasts and assuming a penis, wings falling down. There's another representation. There's the goat. And outside, when they do the part of the ceremony outside, look at these people gesticulating in a very unnatural, very weird way. So what's going to happen here? They're coming out from behind the curtain. They're showing you they're Satanists, and they're combining all the religions together as one to worship Lucifer. This is coming forth and happening right before your eyes. They're the religions uniting together. But do they care whether you know what they're doing out in the open? No, they don't care at all. Ahead to June 12th, we have the famous Pulse shooting in Orlando, Florida. Obviously designed to put some smoke screen up for the Bilderberg conference, which was happening at the same time. Now, security is so tight at this Bilderberg conference that they were routinely arresting the journalists that even came near it. It's obviously not a bunch of old farts sitting around chatting anymore. They've come out of the closet. They are the rulers of the world, and they don't care who knows it. Let's get back to the Pulse shooting. This was so loosely put together, it was irresistible for the away community to go in and debunk it. I mean, obvious things like no ambulances, no blood, never blood in these things. Fraudulent doctors. The perp's father was a CIA guy. He was employed by a security agency. Everyone involved in the interview were card-carrying actors. Simple, out in the open. Only people that watch mainstream media couldn't see it. No attempt to make it look real. Do they care what you think? No. And jumping up to June 23rd, there's the Brexit vote,